Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Edem back with another video, and I am here in the beautiful Paradise Island, Bahamas. I'll give you a quick view. So, just out here, you know, getting some rest and relaxation. Started the new year off a couple days ago on the 6th, and I wanted to just tap in with y'all and give you a quick few on my goals that you might find helpful and might be of some assistance to you. Maybe something that you are also looking forward to being a part of this year, and something that you're pursuing. So one of my goals is, and forgive me if you see me looking off, I'm going to be reading off my paperwork here. One is, do not complain about anything outside of my control, out loud or mentally. And why is this important? This is important because complaining is just that negative energy that really pulls you away from what it is that you're trying to do. It just doesn't sit right with you. It's automatic a lot of times. A lot of times we can say, when we just start complaining, it's automatic. Like, damn, I missed, my exit, or something to that effect. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like automatic, almost like breathing. But once you become more self-aware and you realize that you complain a lot, whether out loud or mentally, you begin to understand that it doesn't serve you. So why continue complaining, right? So that is one thing I'm working on. There's been quite a few things that have been complain worthy so far, but I've checked myself immediately and decided not to complain about that, even mentally. And there's a few times it kind of kicked in, and I brushed it off, and kind of went with it, like, okay, you know what, it's happened, I can't change it, so there's no point in even thinking about it, or trying to mentally whine about it, or physically even whine about it. Why? Because it's over. You can't change what just happened, right? So that's one thing that's big. Something that you might find some value in is, not complaining, and understanding that there's some things that you absolutely can't control. And if you have control over something that you're complaining about, that could be a little different. You may, try to justify the complaint by, feeling like you have control over that. But even in those situations, it's really just best to just avoid complaining at all costs. And it's difficult. Okay, it's difficult, especially if you're a habitual complainer. It's going to be difficult to just forego complaining about anything. I mean, absolutely everything. That's the goal for me this year. Do not complain about anything outside of my control, mentally or out loud. So that's number one. My number two goal is going to get the most out of every day with focus and self-awareness, not wasting time on useless activities. Okay, so this could be something as simple as, scrolling through social media at a certain time where, you end up getting caught up in that social media wheel, right? Where that hamster wheel of social media, where you click on one video or you read one post, next thing you know, you're looking at 2 posts. Next thing you know, it's 3 posts, 5 posts, 10 posts, 6 videos. Look up and it's an hour and a half later, and you're like, damn, like, how did I clicked on here to look at one post, read one video, and the next thing you know, I'm 2 hours into my day and for useless information, like literally nothing I can do with that information. It might even been entertaining, it might not even been entertaining. It might have actually caused me to start complaining, So that's a big one. Not wasting time and focusing with self-awareness, which goes back to, my first goal that I just spoke of, which is, not complaining. Once you're more self-aware and you're focused, you will be aware of the times that you're getting ready to complain, things that trigger you, things that piss you off, things that, upset you, and you will have the ability to catch yourself before you start complaining. So that's a big one. Gotta definitely not waste time on useless activities that aren't serving me, that aren't building me up, that isn't putting me in a position to serve others in a better, higher capacity. Because that's what it is for me this year. It's about serving others and laying out applicable information. Look, we all have information. We all have game. We all have, everything you want to know under the sun. Okay, but at the end of the day, if you can't apply that information, what the hell does it matter? It doesn't matter if you have a plaque full of degrees from the highest and best universities in the world. If you can't apply that information, excuse my French, but who gives a fuck, right? Who cares? You know what I mean? You got to be able to apply the information that you get. So, real important. This year I'm staying dressed and to inspire beauty, elegance, and sharpness. Why? Because I like to dress up. It is an expression of myself, and it just puts me in a better mindset, better frame of mind. A positive and outgoing and what's the word I'm looking for? Just a positive, outgoing, productive, state. You know what I mean? I have multiple businesses, but one of the main businesses I'm doing right now doesn't require me to get dressed up. I might, I'm on vacation now, so just tank top and I'm just super casual right now, but for the most part, most of the days I've been casual, where I'm just wearing jeans, sweatshirt, skull cap because it's cold. I'm in Chicago. I don't have this beautiful weather like I'm experiencing here in the Bahamas, but generally it's just some casual. My leather, my nice little sweater and some jeans and my boots. Nothing crazy, right? But now I'm gonna start turning up again because I've got pieces that I haven't worn ever, that I bought 5 years ago, couple years ago. Suits, slacks, dress shoes, all kind of nice, stylish, sharp pieces that back in a certain time I used to never leave the house without it, but now it's like I haven't been dressing like that, but I'm getting back into that this year. Might be something that you're looking to do too. So I wanted to tap into that. Another thing is just putting my money to work, leveraging AI. We are now in that zone of artificial intelligence, and look, I'm not going to get too deep, but woe is you if you're not tapped in on the AI side, just to leverage the ability to leverage the information that it can give you and to leverage the opportunity for it to help you in your business. I don't care what business it is. We can look all around us and see that AI is taking over everything. So behooves you, and me for to be all the way real, that I gotta incorporate AI in everything I'm doing. Period, point blank. And another thing is, really just understanding that what I just said, the point I just made about, we all have information. Every single one of us has game. Every single one of us has knowledge and information. Some of us more than others. And I have a lot of information. I have a lot of game, right? I have a lot of experience, but there's people out there that have way more experience than me. People out there that have way more information than me, way more applicable information than me. Okay, um, just because I have book smarts and street smarts doesn't mean I know everything. Okay, I'm dumb to a lot of things, and so are you. We're just gonna keep it real. Okay, I'm just being real with you here, but what I'm doing this year is leveraging OPE and OPM. What is OPE? Other people's expertise. Because, like I just said, there's people out here that are way smarter than me that have way more experience in things that I've just started doing or things that I've been doing. So that's what I'm looking to do this year. Leverage my money and understand that my capital will be working tenfold, 24/7 for me, leveraging AI, other people's expertise, and other people's money, because money needs a home, right? Money needs to be making money. Money doesn't need to be sitting around in your bank account, you know, accumulating, 0.1% interest, so like some laughable interest, you know what I mean? Like your money needs to be working constantly while you're not working. So you can get to that point where, your income outdoes, your expenses, and you actually have freedom. You can go do shit like this and go wherever the hell you want to go and just live your life and know that your bills are paid, your expenses is paid, everything that you want to do is in working order. So that's number 4, real important. Another thing I'm doing, I'm taking everybody at face value, and I'm treating them how they present themselves, regardless of the negative aspects that they display and the hidden positive aspects that I see. Now, that's a big one. Of course, people put on a facade, right? People fake it to make it. People, don't give you the real deal. A lot of people do not work in truth, okay? They work off of lies and deceit. But I'm not going to assume that you are somebody else than how you present yourself to me. Just as the same, I'm not expecting you to assume that I'm somebody different than how I may come off to you. You may meet me in person or, watch a few of my videos and come to a conclusion that I'm a certain type of way, or I'm a certain type of this, or I'm a certain type of that. And I can't knock you for that. Why? Because based on your perceptions, based on your experiences, based on your beliefs, you have conjured up an idea of who you believe me to be. Okay? So I'm no different. I'm going to take you at face value. You might be the most angelic person in the world, but if in my meeting you're in that negative state, or in that, that just dark, cloudish kind of mindset at the time I meet you, you know what I mean, and things are just in an uproar for you at the time that I come across you. That's the way I got to take you. I can't go off of what John and Jill and Mike and Bob and Steve said about you, because that's their experience with you. I have to go off my experience with you. So that's something that I'm doing here. Not basically assuming that somebody is something else than what they present themselves to be. The next thing, I am aiming to be great in everything I do. Everything I do. I don't care whether it's, simple as brushing my teeth, taking a shower, tying my shoes. Like, literally self-aware, absolute focus on the moment, present, doing what I'm doing, and looking to be my best and seeing how I can improve on everything I'm doing. These videos that I'm sharing with you, content that I provide, my work ethic, things that I sell, things that I buy, everything I'm looking to upgrade and 10x that, shout out to Grant Cardone, but this isn't a play off that. I'm just looking to level all the way up, seriously, and being great in everything I do, absolutely everything, which Goes back to some of these first goals again: self-awareness and focus. Can't get there, and I can't get there without self-awareness and focus. So that's where I'm at this year. Next, I'm going to be collapsing time by doing what I love. Look, y'all, we got one chance to live, all right? Let me pan out for you one more time. People enjoying themselves, people having fun. There's cruise ships in the background. People, sitting on the lazy river over here, having a good time. Strawberry daiquiris, you name it, right? Everybody's having a good time. The kids are out here enjoying themselves, family friendly, all that, right? What is the point of getting up every day doing some shit that you hate? All right, I get it. We got to grind, we got to work, we got to do things that we got to do to get up. I've been there 1,000 times. I've been up to the mountaintop 1,000 times. I've been under the mountain 1,000 times. Where's the motivation to get up to do some shit that you don't want to do? Like, seriously, like, really ask yourself, am I doing what I love, or am I just doing something to get by? And I understand if you're just doing something to get by for the moment. You got some bills to pay, you got some expenses, you got some debts, some emergency, medical things popped up. I get it. That's life. Like, road bumps and hurdles are there. They're prevalent. They're not going anywhere. I don't care how good it is for you. There will be shit that happens that will kind of, you gotta bob and weave and try to avoid that kind of shit. But nonetheless, got to be doing what you love to do. If you're not doing what you love, gotta check it and really reassess what you're doing every day, because you're not gonna want to get up every day. When you're doing things that you love, you get into that flow state, that mode where you can't sleep. It's not because you got insomnia or you got some medical condition. It's because you're so juiced up and pumped up off life and the things that you're doing that you love, that you don't want to sleep because you feel like you're missing some shit, right? You feel like, damn, I slept for 2 hours. Like, what did I miss? You know what I mean? Like, you're constantly up, you know what I mean? And just doing what you love. So that's what I'm on this year. I'm doing everything I love to do, straight up. Another thing is, preparing to receive in a major way, just as big as I give. I'm a big giver, and I have a problem with receiving. I'm just not the greatest receiver. Now, to explain that is like this. I had a late friend that passed away some years ago, and he said, Edem, you're a hell of a giver, but your receiving ain't worth shit, right? What did he mean by that? He meant that I give freely, right? I'm always giving information. I'm helping people out. I'm taking action. I'm doing things to help other people and serving. But when it comes to me receiving something that somebody might want to do for me, whether it's even simply a compliment or something like that, like, I don't receive it as well. I'm not as I just don't receive well, so that's something I'm working on this year, because just as much as you give, you got to be a receiver. Just as the same on the flip side, if you're the type of person that's always receiving, but you're hard pressed to give anything, right, it doesn't balance itself out, right? So, just as much as you're a giver or a receiver, you have to be on the flip side of that just as much on the other side. So that's really important for me this year, is like really allowing myself to receive. I do a lot of anonymous giving, just blessing people that I don't even know, and not even putting my face in front of them to even know that it was me that blessed them. I just feel good doing shit like that. But when I get something as simple as, man, I like those shoes, it's like, yeah, I know, you know what I mean? Like, there's some ego wrapped up in there. Like, yeah, I know these shoes are fly, but that I got to be more open to receiving, pretty much. So uh, you can think of 1,000 examples of situations that you might have been in that you may not have received whatever somebody was giving you. Think about a Christmas or birthday coming around. You know what I mean? There's a lot of us that get certain gifts on Christmas, and it's like, I really didn't really like that, right? Or I don't really care for that item. But think about whatever that person went to go through to give you that. You see what I'm saying? So be more grateful and have more gratitude. Enjoying my life without fear and failure. That's another goal. Like, forget fear. You know what I mean? Like, I used to talk to a lot of older heads, and we talk from a perspective. When I'm saying older, I'm talking about when I was in my early 20s. I'd be talking to people in their 70s. You know what I mean? That were, like 3 generations removed. That, we can get they can learn from my young mindset at the time, and I can learn from their, older and aged mindset. And fear in some ways is healthy, meaning, if you don't have fear to get hit by a car and you just walk out into the middle of the freeway or the street, you're likely going to get ran over, right? You know what I mean? Yes, it may be true that a person may have the wherewithal to press on the brakes and stop and allow you to keep crossing the street. But another time, somebody might not be looking up or might not care. It'd be like, man, they better get their ass out the street. Boom, and run you over and keep going. So, fear in some situations, very tiny situations, and that's one example that some of the older guys I used to talk to used to talk about something like that. So there does need to be a tiny bit of fear, or maybe we shouldn't call it fear and call it awareness, right? I'm aware the car's coming, so let me look both ways before I cross the road instead of just walking out in the road, because I'm just this fearless, soldier of life that has no cares in the world. That's a little ridiculous, right? But when it comes to going after your goals and shooting for the top, right, you can't be fearful of failing. You gotta just roll with it, even though you are gonna fail. You will. I failed again 1,000 times. I've been on the mountaintop 1,000 times. It happens. So will you fail? Yes, when you busting moves. But at the end of the day, right, like, the fear of not taking action because you're afraid to fail, like, please cut that out if that's you. You know what I mean? And we're all falling into that box at some point. You know what I mean? There's some of us out there that are absolutely fearless, like straight up, but a lot of us do have a tiny bit of fear about losing. So that stops us from taking action a lot of times. And the point I'm making here is, do not let fear stop you from taking action. So that's one of my goals, is not allowing any fear of the unknown, right, to stop me from taking action on something that I know can, better the lives of others, better my life, and allow me to keep it moving. And the last thing is being comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? This isn't a new phrase. I didn't make it up, obviously. You've probably heard it 1,000 times before, but, like, are you really living that? You know what I mean? Are you really okay with being uncomfortable and being comfortable with the uncomfortable, by being comfortable with the unknown, which, again, like, if you're paying attention to everything I'm saying here, everything is flowing with it, right? So if I'm dropping the fear, then I'm comfortable with the unknown, because I'm not afraid of losing, knowing that, there's a high probability I will lose. If this is something that I don't have any information on, that I don't know about, there's a high probability I'm going to fail my first round up, right? I think about Babe Ruth. I think about Mickey Mantle when I think about stuff like this. And, we for all you baseball fans out there, of course, they're, two names that are synonymous with slamming home runs every time they step up to the plate. But did you realize that they struck out more times than they hit home runs in their career? How many times did Mickey Mantle step up to the plate and strike out? How many times did Babe Ruth step up to the plate and strike out? How many times are you going to step up to the plate and strike out? How many times have I stepped up to the plate and struck right out, right? Just knew I was going to just slam the ball out the park, and man, couldn't hit the ball for a day in my life, right? So that's where I'm at, like straight up. I'm being comfortable with the uncomfortable, dropping the fear, allowing other people's expertise to cull and like remove some of that fear. Okay, man, I'm working with, such and such, and they're way smarter than me, or they're way more experienced in this arena. So fine, I don't know that much in this arena that I'm getting into, but man, thank God I'm linked up with such and such that I can remove that fear of the unknown, so I can get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So, just some some goals that I'm going through here, and that I'm going to be really tapped into for 2024 and beyond. You know what I mean? This isn't just a 1 year thing. This is the start of some of these things. There a lot of these things I've been doing on and off, but we go through valleys and peaks in our life. There's times where we're really in that flow state and slamming it, and then there's times where we're just like, shoulder shrug, like, yeah, it is what it is, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not in that whatever mode right now. I'm in that flow state. Let's get it. Let's shine. Let's live life to the fullest every day, and step up to the plate with the intention of hitting a home run every time. Doesn't mean you will, but that intention needs to be there. So I'm gonna leave it off on this note. Kind of long video. If you stuck with me, appreciate that. Thank you for sticking with me this long, and hopefully you found some value out of this. If these are some of your goals right now, or some of the things that you've been already doing and working on, hey, comment below and let me know what's up. I'd like to have a conversation. Maybe we can collab and connect. So till next time, peace. And let me go ahead and give you one last shot of this view, just to rub it in a little bit. All right. And try not to, focus on those chemtrails up there, because no matter where we at, city, rural, Bahamas, doesn't matter. Yeah, they spraying. But that's a video for another day. Have a good one.